Hey, it's Clayton Olson, and in this video, I'm going to talk about how to make decisions more quickly. Now, if you're watching this video and you feel like you have been plagued by analysis paralysis, and you get stuck in your head looping thoughts about what happens if I make this decision, or what happens if I make this decision, and what are the decisions I'm going to have to make after that if I make the wrong decision, I want you to pay special attention to what I outline here in this content, because I think there's going to be some useful tools for you to apply to your own life, take out into the world, experiment with, and report back and let me know if there's any difference that they make. So one of the things I notice when I'm working with clients who are having a hard time making decisions is that they tend to get stuck in their head, and they're really thinking through these decisions with their logical brain, and they're not actually connected to their body. So like I was saying earlier, they're thinking about all of the different decision tree possibilities that could open up from making a decision rather than being in the moment and disconnected from any feeling. It's almost like they're going into the future and they're examining how they're going to feel on the other side of the decision, having to make a new decision as a result of making the first decision. And so they get in their head, they go into the future, into some imagined scenario, and it becomes incredibly overwhelming. The first thing that I would say is we want to get you into the moment. And one powerful way of getting you into the moment rather than in your head projecting into the future is to drop your awareness down into your body. Now, what this might look like is quite simply taking a couple deep breaths, thinking about the options that you have to make decisions for, and maybe even literally putting your hand on your gut and just feeling into it. What does this decision feel like? What does this option feel like versus this option? And just taking a moment or two and just noticing the texture and noticing how your body is speaking about the different decisions. If you can get into the moment rather than projecting into the future, you're taking it one step at a time. You're small chunking things, and the decisions, you might be able to make decisions more quickly just by engaging different intelligence centers in your body in the decision-making process. The next thing that I would encourage you to notice is, where in your life do you already make quick decisions? Most likely you're an expert at making decisions quickly in some area. How do you choose what side of the bed to get out in the morning? How do you decide what shoe to put on? How do you decide what kind of, say, coffee drink you want when you go to a Starbucks or a coffee shop? How do you decide what hand to reach for your phone with? Now some of these might have been ingrained because you've done them so many times, but look in your life to where you're already making decisions quickly. It could be in a context with work. It could be in a context with friends. It might be in a context in your relationship. And the point of that is, number one, we're going to bust the belief that you can't make decisions quickly, because if you've got this belief kicking around in your head somewhere that, I'm not good at making decisions, it's most likely false, because there is places where you're actually really good at making decisions. And so if we can bust that belief that you're not good at making decisions quickly, then the problem that you're facing actually starts to transform, because it's no longer an identity statement about yourself not being able to make decisions quickly, but rather there's a very specific context where you would like to make decisions more quickly. So that leads me then to my next point. Where in your life would you like to make decisions more quickly? So you've looked at where you already make decisions quickly. Where in your life would you like to make decisions more quickly? It might be in your relationship. It might be around conversations that you want to have with your significant other. Maybe it has to do with decisions around money or decisions around social gatherings. I know for a very long time, I have had the issue of whether to honor my introvert or whether to honor my extrovert when invited to a social gathering. And that has plagued me with analysis paralysis at times. So it's important to get into your body and really feel, what does my body want in this moment? The other piece that I would invite you to look at is, so once you examine the context, the new context, or the context in which you want to make faster decisions, what is the fear around making the wrong decision? Are you afraid that you're going to waste time? Are you afraid that somehow you're going to lose respect from either yourself or your peers? Are you thinking that the wrong decision is going to lead you into a place where you feel trapped and obligated? Is it that if you make the wrong decision, you're going to lose the relationship, perhaps if this is in a relationship context? Now, one of the powerful things about our prefrontal cortex is that once we unearth some of these fears and we see that some of these fears are the pieces that are trapping us in this place of analysis paralysis, we can begin to question the fears one by one. Is it true that if I make this decision, I'm actually going to waste time? Is it absolutely true that if I make the wrong decision here, I'm going to lose the relationship? Can I know that for sure? And just beginning to bring the spotlight of consciousness into some of these fears that may be irrational and unpacking them very well could create some expansiveness, some flexibility, and some freedom for you to experiment. And so that would lead me to my next point, which is adopt an experimenter's mindset in your decision making within this specific context. So take on the motto that any action is the right action. Any action is the right action. Now, what this does is it has you focus on, it takes your focus off of trying to make the right decision to realizing that any decision is the right decision. And now I'm just focused on creating results. Because if you're making decisions and you're taking action, you're going to create results. Now, granted, some results you create as a result of your decision making may not be wanted, and some may be wanted. But when you get into this experimenter mindset, you are testing your hypotheses. You are getting in the habit of taking action and creating results. And now you've become someone who creates results and you make decisions quickly. And the next step is just a matter of making decisions that create the result that is more wanted rather than less wanted. So it changes the game. It gets you past that first stage of thinking that there's a right or a wrong decision and what that might mean about you and what that might mean about your life, and into a place of let's create some results through action, through making decisions in a specific context. And the last piece I'll say that will help relax your unconscious mind into this process is just inside of yourself or on paper, make a point to limit how long you will run this experiment. So maybe it's for the next 7 days, starting on Tuesday until Friday, or it's not 7 days, Tuesday until Tuesday. I will run an experiment where I'm just going to be making decisions in this context, and we're going to see how it works. And if for whatever reason these decisions threaten my well-being, put me in a place that where I have an experience I don't want, and I realize that after the 7 days, I want to revert back to the place of being in analysis paralysis and kind of undoing what I've done here, then I'm giving myself complete permission to do that. That's powerful because what it can do is it just, in some ways, creates a negotiation within yourself that you are going to experiment with this experiment. And so in some ways it makes it a little bit more safe. It doesn't force you to change necessarily or force you to jump into something permanently that might not work for you. And it actually honors the different parts of yourself by putting a time frame around it for you to dive in and play. So those are the tips that I have for making decisions more quickly. Let me know if you have any questions on that. If you're looking for one-on-one coaching support and you're wanting to take your life or your relationship to the next level, if you're looking for somebody to walk next to you as a guide to help you see the things that you might be missing in your life so that you can create something extraordinary, please shoot me an email. My email is in the description below, and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to get a little bit closer to some of my teachings around relationships, I've got a guide on my website called The 5 Secrets to Create an Extraordinary Relationship. It's a new one that I created about a month ago. You can click on the link to my website below this description and check that out. You'll get that sent to your inbox for free. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.